All right, so thank you so much for having me here today. As the chairwoman has introduced me, my name is Fiona Mpungu and I work for Mothers to Mothers. Mothers to Mothers is an international NGO, which is, our headquarters are here in Cape Town, but we work in a number of sub-Saharan African countries, and we have offices in the UK and in the US. So I was asked just to give you a bit of background about what we do, and then also to give you a bit of insight into the different roles that are available. And it's not going to be a long presentation, so if you have any questions afterwards, please feel free to ask. I also just want to mention that I know it can be daunting when you have to decide on a career, and I think that it's good to take some time to actually think about where you see yourself in the long term, but at the same time it's also good to just try different things out, because eventually you will find your space, and then after that it just flows and then you can progress in your career. So I will start off with our vision at Mothers to Mothers. We believe in the power of women to create health, hope, and an HIV-free generation. Our mission is focused on the impact the health of mothers, children, and their families. We have a very family-centered approach to our programming. And the platform or the model that we use to deliver our programs and our services is the mentor-mother model, and basically empowering women living with HIV, providing them education as well as employment. So here we have Pia mentor-mother, Ayanda Koza. She's from Gauteng, I think Soshanguve, and just a quote from her explaining why she loves her job and kind of the impact that it has to people in her community. I mentioned before that we train and educate women who are HIV positive, and kind of, what do they call it, task shifting, so that the clinicians can just focus on clinical work, and then kind of like other roles, kind of like psychosocial, not so much admin, but just kind of alleviating the burden in a lot of health facilities, and also creating a link with the community so that we can bring clients who are don't normally go to facilities, to link them with health facilities. So we work both in the health facilities and in the community, as I mentioned before, and it's bi-directional. So we refer clients from the facility to the community, as well as from the community to the facility. Mentor mothers have a huge task, and I think it's quite commendable the work that community health workers do, because it's more than just the linking and the psychosocial support. They really carry the families and really assist them in so many ways in terms of advice. Maybe a role that's not to play down on what clinicians do, but I feel that community health workers really play a pivotal role in our health system and need to be acknowledged more, not just in words, but also in how much they get paid and the benefits, because a lot of them usually do just get, when you say a stipend. The difference with Mothers to Mothers is that our community health workers, who are called mentor mothers, they actually get salaries, they're paid, and they get their benefits as well. So that's quite a key difference, which makes us quite unique, and also the fact that we're acknowledging the amount of work that they do for us. Okay, so to date, over 1,700 women are currently employed in the different countries that we work in. And I mentioned before that we have a family-centered approach. Platforms are at health facilities and in the community, spanning from when a woman is pregnant, and then after she gives birth, as well as through the childhood and adolescence. But at the same time, we also focus on the family as well. Okay, so I mentioned that our headquarters is here in Cape Town. We're based at the Civic Center in town, and we are currently working in 10 African countries. So we started off in South Africa in 2001, and then we've spread to quite a number of countries, easterly. And I'd just like to mention that the ones that where we've got the stars, those are 2 new countries. That's Angola and Ghana. Okay. Okay, so just wanted to share with you a few important milestones. I'm not going to go through all of them. You can just read the others, but I wanted to highlight that in 2011, the Mentor Mothers model was highlighted in the UN's Global Plan after Sustained Advocacy. So the model is basically focused on the community health worker model, but it's just innovating how it can be used differently. So the Mentor Mother model is unique in that way that it has different ways of operating. And then I also wanted to highlight in 2012, the South African government and the Kenyan government adopted the model as an official policy, which means that it was taken up by the government. So we do need to now consistently look for funding to sustain the program because inevitably in the NGO field, you need to look at the fact that a program has to be sustainable because funding will not always be available. So you would like it to either be taken up by the government or the community, but both ideally it's the government that should take it up. However, funding is always the issue there. All right, and then this is just an example of a participant's manual of the Mentor Mother model in Limpopo. Okay, so here are just a few facts about the impact that we made. So since 2001, we have reached directly just over 11 million people. And an example, just to give you an idea of what that would look like, it's the populations of London and Los Angeles together. So I think that's a lot of people. And I was trying to make now kind of like a similar parallel. I was like, no, I don't even know how to start explaining that. So we've created over 10,000 jobs. I know before I had mentioned that over 1,000 Mentor Mothers have been employed. This number relates to the program staff in the different countries. So the country directors, monitoring evaluation specialists, so just the whole staffing complement at an actual office. And I mentioned before that we work in 10 African countries. Let me see if I can remember them all. So South Africa, I should start alphabetically. Angola, Ghana, Kenya, Lesotho, Malawi, Mozambique, South Africa, Zambia, and one more. Uganda, yes. Okay. Are we in that way? Okay, so it's going to be 11 now. So I usually do it alphabetically, otherwise I'll forget them. All right. This is quite a huge fact here that 1 in 6 of the world's HIV positive pregnant women was seen by a mentor mother employed by M2M or our partners in 2017. So it really speaks to the impact that we have and how important our work is, and it motivates us to do better and do more. So just to mention here that the type of work in the NGO field, you can't necessarily be driven by how large your salary is going to be. That can be one of the drivers, but you really need to have passion and purpose. You need to be passion and purpose driven, because that's what's going to make you wake up every day and deal with the craziness that is at the office or on the site. So like the previous speaker said, that we need to be adaptable in this environment, and it does take a special kind of person to work in the NGO field. I wanted to also share with everyone that Mothers to Mothers is quite a forward-thinking NGO because we try to innovate all the time. So in the space of digital health, for example, many of our countries use phones or tablets to enter the data that they record on a daily basis. So this helps with the fact that forms don't go missing, or things like entered incorrectly because you can't read someone's handwriting. We also focus on testing different programs and expanding them. We invest in technical expertise and also advocate for HIV positive women as well as in other areas, because we're continuously evolving as diseases evolve. Okay, so that was a brief background on Mothers to Mothers in terms of our programming and our impact. And the kind of work that we do. So I want now to focus on the culture of Mothers to Mothers. Our values. So our values are respect, passion, integrity, honesty, and teamwork. When you consider where you want to work, you need to also consider the type of environment that you want to work. You need to be able to see yourself in there and on a daily basis. Because I remember I've been at Mothers to Mothers for about a year, and on my first day, when I walked into the office, I was like, yes, I can see myself being here. Obviously knowing that there's going to be challenges on a daily basis, but I think what I tell my colleagues and my friends is like, you need to be in a place where it's a manageable kind of, the challenges are manageable. If they're too extra, then you need to consider being somewhere else. I was thinking about this slide yesterday just to really get the message across to you. We go so far as including these values in our performance contracts, so our yearly appraisals. So you are actually rated on them. I know some of them it's kind of like, can someone really rate you on that? But you also self-rate yourself. So I think that the organization is really pushing these values and really expecting employees to live up to these values, which I think is quite commendable. Okay, so working for an NGO. Traditionally and historically, NGOs do not pay a lot of money. So that's why I also mentioned that you shouldn't be financially driven to work in the NGO sector. However, Mothers to Mothers is different because we pay market-related salaries benchmarked against local and international salary surveys once a year. So I would say, compared to a number of NGOs, that they do pay better. And I would say that I think the reason is because they believe in their staff, they believe in retaining people, investing in people, and just having people stay a long time. Because when you hire someone new and you spend all this time, all this money, give them all this knowledge, and then they leave after a few months, okay, that's, no, I said all this time, let's say 2 years, then it's an investment that the company has lost. So it makes sense what they are doing. In terms of company benefits, they're good, because I've got 2 minutes, let me quickly move to the next one. I just wanted to also share, there's a lot of opportunities to travel and gain international exposure. These are just a few photos of myself when I went to Ghana last year to launch the integrated ECD-RMNCH program. We got to visit a number of health facilities, meet government officials, and also got to do some tour guides stuff as well. And then I just want to share the different types of areas. I was thinking targeting specifically like where you guys are coming from. So my department, we've got the program section, we've got the strategic information section, the country management unit, as well as the business development unit. I added the others in just as a FYI that they also do exist at Mothers to Mothers. And before I end, you can go online on www.m2m.org and scroll down to the bottom of our homepage and click on the careers page. We have a number of internships and actual positions that are advertised regularly, and you just need to check all the time. Thank you.